In the early 20th century, Europe was devastated by two horrific wars. Competitive nationalistic ambitions left Europe's political structure, economy, and population in shambles. Cities were reduced to merely debris and rubble, and 50 to 70 million people were slaughtered. Europe was not a stable continent of neighboring countries. It was a ticking time bomb ready to explode whenever part of it was moved the wrong way. The whole world was damaged by the atrocities of the war, and leaders were determined not to let these tragedies unfold again. European leaders wanted to unite and form a union that was impossible to tear apart, a union that would join together the greatest of enemies into a friendly commonwealth. In 1950, French Foreign Minister Robert Schuman proposed a union of Western Europe's coal and steel industries. This was intended to create a sharing of resources that would eliminate competition and ultimately eliminate another war. On April 18, 1951, the Treaty of Paris was signed by the Six: France, Germany, Belgium, Italy, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg, officially establishing the European coal and steel community. Europe was now partially united on an economic basis. In 1952, Paul Henry Spaak, president of the European Coal and Steel Community, proposed a European community that would mandate human rights, forbid aggression, and establish a common market. Although this would not come into effect until 1967, Europe was now one step closer to being politically, economically, and socially united. After even more proposals, the Treaty of Rome was signed on March 25, 1957. This formed two important organizations, the European Economic Community and the European Atomic Energy Community, also known as Euratom. The European Economic Community created a common market, allowing people and goods to move freely through each member state. Western Europe was now united through three communities: the European Coal and Steel Community, the European Economic Community, and Euratom. On July 1, 1967, the merger treaty that was signed earlier in 1965 took effect. Paul Henry Spaak got his wish. The three organizations merged into a united European community. In order to become a member of the European Union, countries must meet the Copenhagen criteria. This consists of several rules, stating that a country must allow democratic institutions, human rights, a functioning economy that can compete within the European Union, and each country must be willing to accept all laws and proposals passed by the EU. The European Union has 27 members. Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, the Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, and the United Kingdom. Currently, Turkey, Croatia, and Macedonia are potential candidates for admission into the European Union. The legislative branch of the European Union consists of the European Parliament and the Council of the European Union. The European Parliament has 785 members that are elected every 5 years by citizens in EU member states. The Council of the European Union has a representative from each member state and meets regarding different policies. Next, the executive branch consists of the European Commission. Each member state has one representative in the European Commission. The Commission runs meetings, makes laws, sorts disputes, and resolves political crises. The Commission has a rotating presidency. Every 6 months, a new member state is in charge. José Manuel Barroso of Portugal is the current president of the Commission. Finally, the judicial branch is made up of the European Court of Justice and the Court of First Instance. Their primary jobs are to interpret treaties and apply the laws of the European Union. On November 1, 1993, the declaration of the Maastricht Treaty allowed for the creation of a uniform monetary unit in Europe. As a result, the euro was created. All EU members are part of a single economic market, and 16 of the 27 members are part of the Eurozone, meaning they use the euro as their currency. The euro is controlled by the European Central Bank, located in Frankfurt, Germany. The European Economic Community controls the common market. It allows for people, goods, and services to travel freely through member states. This is an efficient way to reduce competition and save time and money. European Union countries share a common passport instead of individual ones. In 1957, members of the European Community wanted to unite together under a common foreign policy. They united under the Common Commercial Policy, which provided a basis for international trade negotiations. Eventually, the European Political Cooperation was formed, and it was later renamed the Common Foreign and Security Policy under the Maastricht Treaty. The Common Foreign Security Policy, also known as CFSP, was designed to resolve international conflicts, promote the safety of the EU and the world, and ensure worldwide democracy and human rights. Javier Solana is the High Representative of the CFSP. In order to act on an issue, such as send EU troops to a battle, there must be a unanimous vote of all 27 member states. Currently, the European Union is in the process of enlargement. They are trying to enlarge the Union by merging with and reforming former communist countries, such as Bosnia, Serbia, and Croatia. As for humanitarian aid, ECHO, the European Community Humanitarian Aid Office, is the worldwide leader in humanitarian aid. ECHO primarily aids Third World European countries and surrounding areas, such as Northern Africa. Members of the Western European Union have also been providing humanitarian aid in countries in the Balkans since the 1990s. The EU Battle Groups was formed under the Helsinki headline goal to quickly deploy 1,500 EU soldiers at a time. This is an effective way for the EU to react to international crises and provide humanitarian aid and relief. The EU Battle Groups makes use of weapons such as the Eurofighter, a state-of-the-art aerobatic fighter plane. One of the first European Union programs was the Common Agricultural Policy. It is designed to increase production and ensure a constant food supply. It accounts for 35% of the EU budget and is supposed to stabilize the market for European farmers. As for energy production, the European Union produces nuclear energy, coal, and gasoline. The European Union imports 60% of its oil and is in the process of diversifying its energy sources because of sporadic Russian threats to cut off the oil supply. Finally, the European Union is also involved in massive infrastructure projects through the Trans-European Networks, also known as TEN. These projects include the Channel, an underwater tunnel that connects Britain to France through the English Channel. Also, the Øresund Bridge connecting Denmark and Sweden is a phenomenal structure built by the TEN. Since the 1950s, the European Union has been a dominant force in European affairs. Originally, it was formed as a stabilizing and unifying force to prevent a third episode of worldwide war. However, it has evolved into a great pact between 27 European countries. Each member of the European Union belongs to a common market and informal defense pacts that allow Europe to unify, prosper, and protect itself. Partly because of the European Union, Europe has transformed from a war-torn continent to a stable, unified, and prosperous group of countries.